David Sherwood here from NiTOR. Today we're going to talk about a cost analysis so you can compare NiTOR to other brands and see how you can fit it into your budget. First off, when you look at a cost per serving of most other brands, you got to pay attention that they don't necessarily have the same amount of protein in a serving, and oftentimes other brands will put fillers in there to reduce the cost per pound of protein mix in the bag, but there's less, they dilute the protein out, so there's a lot less protein in there, and so you're buying a lot of fluff like carbohydrates and fiber and filler and stuff. So don't pay attention much to the cost per serving. The more important factor is the cost per gram of protein that you buy. A lot of brands will tout that they have various varieties of protein, such as they'll say we have isolate and concentrate and egg protein and other types of proteins in there, so that it seems like you get a variety of protein, like it's supposed to be better in some way. But the problem is they end up having all these deficiencies and all these problems that reduce the value of the protein that you're buying, so it actually drives up the cost of usable protein that you're getting. So for instance, digestion, a lot of protein that is the slow release protein like casein or other sources of protein don't digest very well, so you don't absorb them, and we've talked about how you waste protein that way. We've talked in another video about the lack of balance and how you end up urinating out huge amounts of protein that you had digested and absorbed but didn't use. And other limiting factors, and important, is also dosage size. We have another video on both of these things. So when you take these and you take real conservative estimates on how much protein you lose, if you have your 20-gram dose of protein and you said, well, to digestion, let's say I only lose 10% to not digesting. That's really conservative. On balance, say you lose 10%, limiting factors, you lose another 10%. Dosage size, you lose some percentage there. Back to balance, because it's not balanced, you end up urinating out huge amounts of protein that you had digested and absorbed but didn't use. So you'd probably lose a conservative 50% or more of the protein there. So when you have a 20-gram dose of protein and you take out all these percentages, how much do you have left over? Probably about 7 grams of protein that is usable by your body. So that drives up the cost per gram of protein because you're not using it. So let's look at the cost per usable gram of protein as a comparison. In addition to that, you need to consider, well, what are the negative effects of some of these losses? I mean, do you want to deal with gas and bloating? Do you want to pay for that? Do you want to pay money to stress your liver and kidneys to have to process all this stuff that you don't use and you have to urinate out? So when you look at a cost analysis of your protein, pay attention to the cost per usable gram of protein. NiTOR has the lowest cost per usable gram of protein, and it's at least 300% more efficient than other brands.